So Cassian has put two beings. What the fuck is Cassian? Like, he has so much more power than we are actually giving him credit for. I already had theories about him, but like, that's crazy. And like, what is he just doing this for? Is he just the fucking Witcher? Like, on the side? Like, he's.
Queens podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Allie. And this week we're jumping into chapter 18 of Court of Mist and Fury. And we're going to the Bone Carver for real today. Heading to the prison. Lots of fun conversations with Rhys SO. Lots of lore, honestly. Like, learn a lot, I feel like, about a lot of people and places. And yeah, it's one of those really I keep saying iconic scenes, but there's just really like a lot of iconic scenes.
We also get a lot of Feyre opening up about her time under the mountain and Rhys schooling his features over realizing just how far gone she was and how much she wanted it to be over. I also think there's a little moment where Rhys is really hoping that the Bone Carver doesn't tell his secret of the mate bond.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't have anything on this first page. I don't think there's anything to do with the amulet. I think it's just a necklace. I know that people are like, "Ooh, could it be I think it really is just a necklace.
Yeah, I think that fits thematically because it's kind of like, you had the strength in you all along. You didn't need a magic thing, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But when I first read it, I was convinced it was the Eye of Elena. And I was like, this is... Wait, I hadn't read that. Okay, the second read-through, I was convinced it was that. First read-through I had, it was just a baby-headed, empty-brained idiot. Just kidding.
We all were.
Yeah. Okay, so, but yeah, second through, I was like, this surely is that, but maybe it's not. But I am always suspicious of it, especially since Rhys was like, he was like looking at it, but I think it's just because he's like, what should give you? What is that? And he's like intrigued by it. So maybe it's just that. I was kind of interested though, like, why are we, I forgot that she has this crazy reaction, like she sees Amren sitting in her bed and she like jumps for a weapon, and I'm like, so if I'm writing this story, do I want to have that because it's just a funny scene where someone gets jolted awake? But then why portray them as them? Like, you know, if you imagine, like, I mean, if I want it to be like, I thought I woke up and thought you were someone else, like, put it someone scary or something like that. Because I'm just like, Amren, you just had dinner with her, and you're still reaching for a weapon, like, but maybe it's just because she's so scary.
That, or I think it's just that, like, when you first wake up and you're still groggy and you don't quite know what's going on and, like, maybe even don't really know where you're at kind of a thing. And, like, there's just somebody there. And so it's an instinct to just be like, what the fuck?
She said Amren was standing there. So she knows it's her. And then she's, like, still, like...
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I was like, maybe it's just supposed to set up, like, characterizing Amren as this really scary thing that you have to kind of get used to, as opposed to, like... something else, or I was like, maybe it's just pure like a stupid joke. I don't know.
Well, or just the fact that she didn't expect her, right? She was like,
well, then why would be like, get out?
Well, yeah, or like the bedroom door was shut. Rhys said no one can enter without my permission, but so like maybe it was just more of a like, why are you here? And like of all the people in the inner circle, she's most kind of cautious and I guess, you know, like, oh, I don't want to fuck with her kind of a thing. So maybe it was just one of those like, she didn't know what to expect, and she certainly didn't expect her to be in her room, and so it's just like you kind of go on the defensive. But yeah, it was a little like,
a bit much.
Yeah,
like I don't know, but well, and also it's the first time they're alone together, I think. So I was like, that's an interesting first scene.
Yeah. I think it's also an interesting first scene together because then it already establishes a trust thing, right? Like. Not only is she, like, even if it wasn't a fake net, like, okay. One, she gives her something that, like, even with the threat of giving it back, right? Like, she gives her something that she thinks is powerful enough to get her out of the prison.
Yeah.
Like, that's trust building right there. First private interaction, and she's offering up something that is seemingly super powerful. And then I think it's fortified when she gives it back and Amren's like, it's just a necklace. Like, you know, you needed extra courage. And so I think it's more of like, oh, you see You didn't see the threat of the mountain. You saw me needing some courage. So I think it works. I think it works well to establish quick trust between Amren and Feyre.
That's fair. Yeah. But I guess she's already had an introduction anyway, so it's not really like the first time. And yeah, Pearl and Cloudy Bluestone. Yeah, then I was just noting that he's like frowning at it. I think he probably just like, oh fuck you get that.
That and like,
and he probably gave it to her.
Yeah. And like he doesn't know why Amren gave it to her. So all of a sudden he's just wearing one of Amren's necklaces, which is like, you don't touch Amren's jewelry.
Yeah.
So like imagine he's just walking and all of a sudden he's like, the woman who I know would literally tear someone's head off for taking her jewels has her jewels around someone else's neck. And so she's just like, she gave it to you. And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, it must be serious then. And like goes into like almost talking about the Bone Carver. And he's like, don't say anything, which I get. But like, it's just, I think he's already, or maybe, I don't know. Do you think that he's like mind talking to Amren being like, why is she wearing your necklace, bro?
No, I don't think you can do it from this far.
I think he's just like a little taken back by like the person who he knows covets jewels like a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And his mate is wearing her necklace. So the inmates have nothing better to do than to listen through the earth and rock for gossip. They sell any bits of information for food, sex, maybe a breath of air. Who are they selling this to?
I mean, you think like the guards, that's how.
But the guards are nothing but a shadow of a thought and a spell.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the Bone Carver. The Bone Carver can leave, and he's just like, I'm chilling here. It keeps people out. And
he doesn't want to.
Like,
we find out later he doesn't want to leave.
Exactly. So maybe he's like, I'm selling air on the black market. That's what I'm doing. Like, maybe I don't know. Maybe you can barter with the prison itself and be like,
well, that or if you have a visitor and you have information, right? I mean, Rhys and Feyre are going there and giving him a bone, so like,
true.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's just, but maybe I feel like it's just one of those things like.
It's a prison thing, I guess.
It's not like a logistics. It's just like a texture, and it's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like, do they get to go in each other's cells? Like, how are they getting sex? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I love that she's never seen him with a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Although, before that, she apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's maybe not her first apology, but it's like, she's coming around. But yeah, dude, yeah, that's just like, sitcom shit. Never seen you with a weapon. Cassian would laugh himself hoarse hearing that, and then make me go into the sparring ring with him. And then lots of backstory there too. But it is funny. Because you can just immediately picture Cassian actually laughing his head off at that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you just, it's funny.
Well, especially if he was, like, under the mountain, right? Being like, you didn't have a weapon, you dumb fuck.
That's true.
Like, of all places to have a weapon, Rhys. Really?
And, some Azriel backstory.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess there's not, like, much to say about it. It's just like, yep, that's their backstory.
Yeah, I mean, we find out about his burns. And that the brothers were punished eventually. Here, okay. And I know people have talked about it, so we're not saying anything new. But, right, what does Mor do for you? Mor is the one I call when all the armies fail and Cassian and Azriel are both dead. You know what that sounds like to me? A last-ditch suicide mission. Like the Yielding.
A Yielding.
Like the Yielding.
True. But, like, But one Yielding? Is she, like, ultra powerful? Like, I mean, a Yielding is big, but, like, can it be?
He also says she would be considered a queen.
I know. That is one of those things.
Which like, makes no sense to me, because that is not what a queen would do. Right? She looks after the dynamics between the two courts, and she runs both Valaris and Hewn City. I suppose in the mortal realm, she might be considered a queen. How would she be a queen if she's still under somebody else's rule? Because she runs 2 cities? Is that what queens do? They run cities?
That's what I did assume, but it is weird. And yeah, he has to unlock the spell on her. Which, that is what happens in ACOMAF, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that like her full powers and everything? Was she like...
I think so. That's her true form. Something else, something worse than us. Inky black. It's super, super dark.
I know.
Which I get, because it's that, but like the inky black of it feels Valgy to me.
Yes. Yeah. And it's an interesting texture.
Well, and it was created to lock up Daglin, right? Like that was the whole point for Thea making it.
Did we know that?
I think so.
Okay. I was gonna say, first of all, what are the bones? Do we ever find out what these bones are from? Are they from a giant like dragon or like?
No idea.
That's interesting. But then also, unless it's like it's piled high with bones and it's like makes a gate or it's like
be interesting. Yeah, it could be like
it gives the impression it's like a
that have been
bone.
like hewn together.
Yeah, but yeah, the prison is very weird and interesting. It reminds me of the prison in Daughter of No Worlds.
Right, and the guards, they dwell within the rock of the mountain. They only emerge at feeding time or to deal with restless prisoners. They are nothing but shadows of thought and an ancient spell.
Yeah, well, like, okay, so members of the Wild Hunt are in this prison. So, like, how ancient?
Also, shadows of thought and an ancient spell. I'm like, is that Avalon power?
Yes, I mean it has to be.
Yeah, that's Starborn shit, right?
Yeah. And this is obviously where else is in 8th Court, Dust Court. I don't know, but I'm also like, how could you be locked away forever?
Through an ancient spell.
I know, but like, really is a long time.
It is.
You know, like, it's just like how, I just don't know who could make a spell that lasts that long, you know? Who could make a spell that can't be, like, I'm like, I mean, maybe the mother herself, like the former of the world type shit, but it doesn't give the impression of that.
Or they used, like...
Otherworld magic?
Yeah, word gate type shit. Or they use cauldron magic.
It is... I mean, we know we're going to learn more about the prison, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot of, like, word magic.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to learn about a new magic.
No.
We got word magic, we've got...
But the thing, too, is that, like, so word and erd are the same.
Yeah.
Right? But then you also have, like, there's, like, two other gods that are prayed to in Lunathion. So I'm wondering if we're going to learn more about that. Because there's Erd and Solus and Luna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Erd, Word, and the Mother are all the same. But then there are those other two. Yeah, maybe Moonbeam knows some shit about that. Freaking
High Lord Moonbeam.
High Lord Moonbeam. And yeah, it could easily be keyed to his blood because it's actually Avalon blood, you know?
Yep. Because it's Starborn blood.
Yeah. Who is Lanthus? Sorry. Who else besides Lanthus is locked here? Because I mean, is he just? She says, "Have you put it in here?" He says, "Yes."
The grayness is there, or the blueness is there.
What is that?
It's another being that Cassian fought.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember he fought Lanthus. A gray Aness.
Blue Aness. Yeah, she is one of the creatures that Cassian banished there.
So Cassian has put 2 beings. What the fuck is Cassian?
Because Lubian's there too. Lubia is there too.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck actually is Cassian? Like, he has so much more power than we
Yeah,
are
because
actually giving him credit for. I already had theories on him, but, like, that's crazy.
well, and the Blueness is the one who left the big-ass scar on his chest.
Oh, yeah. And, like, what is he just doing this for? Is he just the fucking Witcher? Like, on the side? Like, he's like, just saw on the
I
hunt
mean,
someone,
unless
like,
it's
is there,
like,
what's the
you know,
plot
it's
there?
hunting in Night Court territory. I guess that's his job to fight it. Or
These
maybe
aren't
it's not.
like, these are like deep mystical, like, Lanthus is part of the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
He is a being who's been, you know, if Cassian's like, let's say he's like let's say he's like 500, 400 or something. No, he's like 500.
Because he fought in the war.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Cassian's like 500. This being's been there for thousands of years, and he just gets got by one fucking Illyrian? No way.
And a mirror.
And when is Cassian that smart? Well, maybe Mir helped him with her witch mirror. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
But Cassian is smart. He's just a smart ass too.
well, yeah, but like, I'm just saying, like, that seems like almost as big of a problem as like a Hyber.
Yeah, but I also think when it comes to like battle and combat strategy, I think that's where Cassian, like, you can't say that he's dumb.
No, but I guess I'm just thinking like maybe he's underutilized in the war then.
Yeah, maybe.
Because what do you mean you're just maybe him and Azrael and Rhys hunted Lanthus together and they all fought him and he was the one, but he headed it up and like it was this whole thing.
Hmm.
But it just feels like a much bigger deal than they're just kind of talking
Yeah.
about it as.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but yeah, anyway, I have lots of Cassian theories because he just, well, we always are like,
I mean, there are 300 years, right? So after the war, there's like, you know, the war was 500 years ago. There's a long time. It's, you know,
maybe they do spend like
450
20 years hunting something.
Well, and there's like 450 years between the end of the war and Amarantha's reign. So like, that's a long time to be doing some shit.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's the equivalent of saying like I killed an Asteri.
Yeah. Or an archangel, I guess, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but Bryce did it before she even made the drop, so it's not impossible. And he didn't kill it; he trapped it.
But it had been invading everyone and everything for thousands of years.
Yeah. Well, and it took Nesta and her sword that was made to, because the maid sword. Well, the sword made him, so she cut him with she cut the misty stuff of Lanthus with a sword, and it trapped him in a body, and then they could kill it.
They do kill him, huh?
Yeah, they do.
That is interesting. Anyway, sorry, not to go off the deep end, but I was like, also I'm like, who else is this? Is it just those three people, or is it like, did someone rob a store one too many times? Sure not.
Well, I mean, Rhys says that he like doesn't take sending people there lightly, but
yeah. But I'm just like, man. Okay. Oh, also, he said that Amren's been in there longer than they've had writing. Surely he don't mean that.
yeah.
I mean, were the Fae just like oral tradition for a long time, and then they were like, let's do writing. You know, I mean, I guess it's not necessarily supposed to be our
Maybe
worlds.
because
It's not like
the stuff that they find, like that Bryce and Nesta find, it's all in like pictures. It's not written word.
beings who live for thousands of years are not going to come up with writing.
Yeah.
Maybe we just call it. Anyway, I was looking up, instead of reading, I was looking up history of writing, history of language. How old is
and then that makes me question, like, is that older than Thea? Did Thea not build this mountain? Did she just utilize the prison and not, like, who made this then?
Because if it's an 8th court, but it was a prison.
All he found was a vague mention that she was sent in before Prythian was split into the courts. So that could be Thea's, right? And emerged once that it had been established. So after Thea's war. Her imprisonment.
So the court just had the prison with it.
That's what I'm wondering. And her imprisonment predates our world. I don't know how long she was in there. A few millennia seems a fair guess. Thea's war was 1500 or 15,000 years ago?
1500. I don't know. I can never remember. But then I was like, maybe it's not predates our written word. It's just the word that survived. Maybe like all the records have been destroyed.
15,000 years ago
15,000?
was Thea's war.
Okay, I'm just saying 15,000. So like the books in the library of Jessica's library or something. Those are like what, 30,000 years old?
Those are 15,000 years old.
Because they were old when all this shit happened, right? So they were even older than that, right? So, I mean, I guess they have magic. But then, dude, 15,000 is a crazy number to put in a book timeline.
Well, hold on.
That's ballsy.
I'm going to do some math here.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I'm going to be good at it, but let's see if we can do this. If we say, just to keep numbers even, that the average lifespan of a human is 100 years, and it is not, but let's say that it is, right?
Okay.
And humans emerged 30,000 years ago.
That's it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just don't know stuff.
Okay. Means you can have 300 lifetimes in that time. So if a fae lives for 1,000 years, I mean, it's 300,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And Amren's just chilling that whole time.
Yeah. Do you think that Rhys is going through a midlife crisis right now? He's 500, right?
Which puts him I think we figured out that they actually live more closer to 2,000, and he's quarter life crisis.
Ah, he hit 25.
I do stand by my theory that like they're just dumb for longer.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
They're not really 500 because I mean, if you think about that, let's see how long it hurts your head.
Yeah.
We're motivated by death to grow and become good people. They can simmer in the frat boy pace for 100 years.
Yeah. I mean, Rune is.
True. Because they have so much power, too.
Yeah. But then that makes me believe that Amren did not come through the rift of Thea's war then. She came in the rift of when the world began.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. Which is much older than Thea. It has to be.
Unless Thea came right after the world was made. Yeah. Surely we're going to have a juicy ass.
I mean, she tells us at some point that, like, no, because she was living a life in her world. And it was like a rift opened and she was a curious little being. And, like, her dad was basically like, go ahead.
Maybe she was pretty young in her world. But yeah, she was alive. And
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out more.
Maybe it's more like because she's from another world that she's actually like not that old. It's just like time passes differently. Like, you know, if you like in Interstellar.
I think it's also like giving us vague enough stuff to where we can start putting things together, but it's not actually going to give us, right? Because this is all like conjecture and old. Like there's one mention in one ancient source somewhere. Like clearly it's going to be, you know, could be flawed, whatever. Like, and like when things become mythical, right, they can go even older. So like maybe she's did come in during the rift, when like the Northern Rift was created in, right, when Thea's war and all the beings and whatever else. But like just because it's as old as it is, that like 15,000 people can start to extrapolate and make bigger myths and write it down.
Yeah. Okay.
But he says, I think they came from somewhere else and they've been looking for a way home for a long time. So it opens up other world theories right then and there.
Yes.
He is just giving her some information that he can appear as anything. And that, like,
what?
She asks about, because she's like, what is, like, who is he and what is he? And he says, no one knows. He appears as he wants to appear. And she asks, shapeshifter. And he says, yes and no. He'll appear to you as one thing and might stand, and I might be standing right beside you and see something else.
Oh, I will also say, I think it's interesting that he puts a Suriel with kind of like Amren's vibes. Like he's like, you know, she's the only one of her kind and no record of others having existed. Even the Suriel have numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why are you bringing up the Suriel when you're talking about World Walkers? Because clearly there's something.
Well, because when Feyre asks the Suriel like what she is or whatever, she says like I was here long before your courts were,
Oh
before your
yeah,
high lords or whatever. So maybe it's just an age thing. It's an old thing.
yeah. Lots of little intimacies in this chapter as well. She like
Mm-hmm.
grabs his hand and she's just,
Mm-hmm.
classic like ooh, scary adventure. Let's hold hands.
I thought it was interesting
Okay.
what the bone carver carves in his gate. Right. Flora and fauna, seas and clouds, stars and moons, infants and skeletons, creatures fair and foul. He says, I've carved the doors of every prisoner in this place, but my own remains my favorite.
Yeah, what does it do to carve a bone?
How does he go to other inmates' cells and carve their bones?
Because he's not really a prisoner. He
Yeah,
probably just
right?
wants to be there.
Right.
Um,
But even still, like what he carves is the essence of all life,
yeah, you'd
right?
think he would be a little creepier about it.
Yeah, no, it's all of it, right? It's flora and it's animals and trees and seas and clouds and stars and moons and infants and right, everything from babies to people who are dead and creatures that are beautiful and scary.
Yeah.
He carved in the universe.
Yeah. He's a death god. Yeah, I don't know. And then we see Nyx. Or Nyx's brother.
Or Dorian.
Maybe their second child's named Dorian.
Well, so here's my theory about the blue eyes and violet eyes are the same. On 196, right? He stepped aside, the light bobbing ahead to illuminate a dark-haired boy sitting against the far wall, eyes of crushing blue taking in Rhysand. And then later on 197, the bone carver's violet eyes seem to glow brighter.
Oh,
Violet and blue are
yeah.
the same.
And Rhys is always talking with violet eyes, but then, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Dorian is always blue, but Rhys sometimes they say blue. And then
I for such a long time, I
same
thought he
with
said violet
Rune.
eyes.
Blue and violet are interchangeable.
Yeah. With Rune, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. That is a weird writing choice.
Yeah. Oh,
and he brought her bone.
He brought her bone, yes. But also, this is why I think that he is the god of truth from Throne of Glass. Okay? Because, hello, the boy smiled, was a mockery of innocence. Are you afraid? Yes, I said. Never lie. That had been Rhys's first command.
Interesting.
And the temple.
He asked for truth.
And the temple that they find in Throne of Glass that is dedicated to the Sin Eater, the truth god, is made of bones. And everyone carves their sins into bones.
So is his sin that he carved his doors, the bone doors, is his sin that he created a world?
No, I just think he's seen a lot of worlds.
Yeah. Well, that is weird. That is interesting. I forgot about that god at all. That really matches up well. And yeah, because it's like he's the god of, he's like some kind of death god, but then he's like, give me a truth.
Yeah, like don't lie to him, right? He's the god of he's the Sin Eater.
Yeah, but he wants like her experiences, like, she has to tell him stuff.
Yeah, because you're supposed to confess your deepest, darkest shit to the god of truth. And it turns into confessing your sins.
How come she's never been like, so is Moira gonna turn into the bone carver one day? Her power is truth.
Yeah.
But like, how has this not been a conversation?
I don't think that she realizes that it's a power thing or that it's just like, don't lie to this guy. And she's like, okay.
True. It does, it could fit either way.
He's asking her what realm she went to when she died. He knows that the afterlife is just another realm. It's just another world. Because he even asks later, you didn't see any light, no portal?
Because when, that's you haven't gotten there yet. I was gonna say in Crescent City 3, Bryce goes into like the void, right? It's like you have to like swim through it, kind of.
Yes, But everyone
And
who
there's no
dies from
light, or there is a
Lunathion,
light?
they go to the bone quarters. They go into another realm. They go through a gate into another realm.
And then through another gate.
Yeah.
Also, I like that he like brings that. Like, did he pick that? Did he go back to under the mountain to get that bone, or did he pick it up initially
I
and was
think he
like, "I'm
picked it
gonna
up.
keep this"?
He kept that shit.
So he thought that he's gonna get out of there and he's gonna go out, talk to the bone carver.
That, or he kept it because he was just like, that's my baby girl.
He's like, this is my little pet now.
Whenever I want to remember Cassian, I'll remember this bone.
Favorite calf bone.
Mm-hmm.
So
She reminded me so much of my best friend that I almost wanted to smile, so I'm going to keep this bone. Rhys, so she doesn't say anything. She's like thinking back to when she died. Rhys got rigid while monitoring the bone carver, as if those memories were free flowing past my mental shields I'd made sure were intact this morning. So I don't think he's reading her mind. I think he's reliving it for himself. And I wondered if he thought I'd give up right then and there. And then she says, I heard the crack, and his head whips towards her. Like he's almost surprised that she's talking. Right. And she says she's like clinging to the threads of their bargain. And then he says, but was there anyone there? Were you seeing anything beyond? She says, there was only the bond in the darkness. Rhys's face had gotten pale, his mouth tight. And then she says, and when I was made anew, I followed that bond back to me. I knew that home was on the other side of it. There was light then, like swimming through sparkling wine. And we've talked about this being like a drop thing. Were you afraid? And she says, all I wanted was to return to the people around me. I wanted it badly enough. I didn't have room for fear. The worst had happened, and the darkness was calm and quiet. It didn't seem like a bad thing to fade into, but I wanted to go home, so I followed the bond home.
And with home being such a big theme, it's like so clear. It's like, there it is. That's your mate. That's your home.
And then you can't really think about that though, because the bone carver keeps pushing this other issue, and that's why I think you don't catch on to that as a reader, right? Was there another world? She's like, if there was, I didn't see it. And he's like, no light, no portal.
Death is a rift.
Yeah, only peace and darkness. Did you have a body? No, did. And then that's when Rhys is like, that's enough. Now she has 6 questions she can ask of you. Well, and then we get right. So long before there was high fae, before man, there was a cauldron. They say the magic was contained inside of it and the world was born in it, but it fell into the wrong hands, and great and horrible things were done with it. Things were forged with it. So we already get the idea that it can be forged. We also know that that's where a lot of that's where the Star Sword is forged with it, and Truth Teller. Such wicked things that cauldron was eventually stolen back at a great cost. So, okay, is that who stole it back? It could not be destroyed, for it was made all things, and if it were broken, then life would cease to be. So it was hidden and forgotten. Only the cauldron could do something. Could something that is dead be forged like that? They said, where did it hide it? And I love this secret, right? Tell me a secret no one knows, High Lord, and I'll tell you mine. He says, my right knee gets a twinge of pain when it rains. And the bone carver laughs. He's even like, and he's like, you were always my favorite. Also, where is this lake? It's not on a map.
No, I was thinking about that.
And then we learned about the different temples, right? That the feet were cleaved from it and hidden in the temples. And if they have gone missing, it's likely the cauldron is active once more. This is okay. So I don't suppose you know who now has the cauldron. The bone carver pointed a small finger at me. Promise me you'll give me her bones when she dies, and I'll think about it. I stiffened, but the boy laughed. No, I don't think even you would promise me that, Rhysand. I might have called the look on Rhysand's face weary. Sorry, called a warning. I think that was when he is like, don't tell her that she's my mate.
Don't think even you would promise that. Kind of, but the sentence, it just kind of seems like, yeah, maybe. The sentence of 4 is throwing me. That's why I'm like,
Yeah, I know. It was throwing me too, but because it makes it sound like Rhys is so fucking evil that like even his evil wouldn't promise that. But
just funny because he clearly knows that Rhys isn't evil.
But I think it's because he's like, even with what you have on like in front of you, even with the like the desperation in which you want this information, you still wouldn't give me her bones, and that's because you love her.
Yeah.
Did you realize that death is capitalized too?
That time is it capitalized all the times?
No, there was a choice in death. I said.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And then this is foreshadowing to this stupid death bargain they're going to make. I knew that I could drift away into the dark, and I chose to fight to hold on for a bit longer. Yet I knew if I wanted, I could have faded. And maybe it would be a new world, a realm of rest and peace, but I wasn't ready for it, not to go there alone. I knew there was something else waiting beyond that dark, something good.
Dude, yes. They're ending the series world walking or death walking.
And then she offers up, right? So she says, when Amarantha made me kill those 2 fairies, if the third hadn't been Tamlin, I would have put a dagger in my own heart in the end. Rhys goes still. She says, I knew there was no coming back from what I'd done. And once I broke their curse, once I knew I'd saved them, I just wanted enough time to turn the dagger on myself. I only decided I wanted to live when she killed me, and I knew I had not finished whatever it was I was born to do.
That is ominous. Whatever. ...
Yeah. And then there's devastation in his face that he blinks away quickly. Okay. My question, and this is a religious question. When the cauldron was made, its dark maker used the last of the molten ore to forge a book, the Book of the Breathings. And then he goes into all that. If all life came from the cauldron, who the fuck made the cauldron?
That's why I'm saying, like, this is why I think Agador is the youngest world. Because it's clearly someone from, like, Throne of Glass or Crescent City who made a world. And I could see the mother being, like, I mean, it's a little far-fetched, but, like, Aelin. Or, like, one of the gods from Throne of Glass. Or an Asteri.
You think it's the youngest world? That's crazy.
Huh?
That's crazy you think it's the youngest world.
Maybe Crescent City. But it's the only one that seems to have an origin of like that. And it feels like a play world. Like just the idea of like, yeah, the hands. I mean, I think we talked about this in like the episode where we analyzed the map in the beginning. Because I'm like, why the fuck?
Yeah.
Can you have hands before a world is made? But like, yeah. But maybe I don't know. But also wondering about the blue flame in the Carver's eyes.
Yeah.
Like, what's that about?
He tells him to go to Spring Court, or to Summer Court, basically. So the High Lord of the Summer possess our piece, and the mortals possess theirs. They put a spell on it, so it has to be given freely without any magic. And then creepy as shit, I'll carve your death in here, Feyre. He gives her something without giving something in return, this last one. So she offers up this piece about wanting to kill herself. And then the Bone Carver says, with the cauldron, you could do other things than raise the dead. You could shatter a wall. And then he goes on and says, right, that Hybern's likely been quiet for years to figure out the cauldron secrets and to test it and to, re-up it with more, plug it into the wall for more power. Is there a way to stop it? Silence, expecting, waiting silence. Rhys's voice was harsh. Don't give him one more. And then the Bone Carver offers up this last piece about the book without getting something in return.
But technically, Feyre offered him something when she texts with a choice. That was unprompted.
Yes, but she does that so that...
Yeah, you're right. He does give her something. Yeah.
Yeah, because she does that so that he can say the King of Hybern.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on and keeps talking about it.
How serious was this war that they got the book involved in the war between the humans and the Fae?
We said it was part of the treaty, purely symbolic, as the cauldron had been lost for a millennia and considered a mere myth. I could see that being part of that, like to appease the treaty.
I guess. It seems crazy though.
And she sees the boy, and Rhys saw Dorian. He appeared exactly as Dorian looked the last time I saw him facing Amarantha when they fought to the death. I didn't want to learn how the Bone Carver knew who we'd come to ask about. So before they even started asking, he appeared as Dorian.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there'll be a time jump in one of these books and we'll see a boy around 8.
Maybe.
Like, maybe she's seeing the moment of her death and how old her son will be when she dies.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why, like, the world walking stuff, I'm, like, a little, like, iffy about. Like, if they end up with, like, a world walking bond, do they just fuck off for a while? Like, what is,
They have
like...
kids?
Yeah, like, they have nicks. Like, you can't just fuck off with a kid. Trust me. They try.
I don't think it'll be a permanent world walking.
Yeah,
day. I think it's going to be like, we got to go get something.
That, or it's going to be one of those things where it's a weird loophole to the bargain where when one of them gets sucked in through a portal, the other one shows up in that world.
Yeah.
And it's going to be to their benefit.
Come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That they end up as each other's, like, world tethers.
I thought we were going to damn ourselves being together, but instead we saved each other and made ourselves immortal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see her learning all this stuff, too.
It is. I like that it's put into dialogue. I like that it's put into scenes like this, and it's not just, like, info dump.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel too heavy. But yeah, now we get to do some summer court shit soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're preparing to go to the cottage. The weave.
Oh, right. We got to go get our engagement ring. Our wedding ring. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky Rhys.
That is crazy.
I mean, I picked out my own wedding ring and an engagement ring, so I guess it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky Rhys.
Sneaky. It's cute.
All right, so next week we'll do chapter 19, and we'll go hang out with the Weaver.
Yeah, chapter 19, and yeah, those are gonna be doozy chapters too.
Yeah.
But
to the stars who listen, we'll see you next week.